Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Teen Wolf Season 5, Part 2, MTV's original show, based off of the 1985 cult classic film Teen Wolf, starring Michael J. Fox. So the band's back together. We continue right off where we left off. So the 10th episode of Part 1 ended with Theo Rakin, played by Cody Christian, not reanimating, but bringing back to life 4 chimeras, so he has his own chimera pack versus Scott's pack, right? That's the basic plot points. Why? Why did Theo do it? Why is the Desert Wolf trying to kill Malia, right? We get some answers, which is great. That's always a great thing, getting answers. Part 2 of Season 5 came out January 5th, 2016, 10 episodes long, literal continuation right where we left off. But it's inappropriate. We had the mid-season finale, and then it's the continuation of the story. It's not 2 separate stories, it's combined. So it's neat, because that was the first time we ever seen something like that with Teen Wolf. So Theo has his 4 chimeras. You have Corey, you have Sean, is that the Lightning Kid's name? I can't remember his name. Tracy's back as the part Kanema, and Hayden is back. And so Liam is still, madly in love with Hayden and wants to make sure that everything's okay. But it's now a matter of the Beast. Who is Labette? Who is this Beast? Why is this Beast back in Beacon Hills? What is the relation from the Beast to the Argent family, to the Dread Doctors in general? That's all explained, which is a pretty cool little neat history to it. A lot of history to it. Very neat. Why Jordan Parrish is a Hellhound, bringing that into effect. Why Lydia was an Eichenhaus, being experimented on by Dr. Valak. That's explained. He just wanted to amplify her powers. He wanted the name of the beasts. He wanted revenge on the Dread Doctors. It all comes together. Theo wants the power of the Beast. He wants to take those glowing claws we see at the beginning of Episode 1, Season 5, and Part 1, Episode 1, Season 5, and take those talons and suck the power out of anyone who is attached to it, right? Very important plot points moving forward as well. So we find out that Malia's mom, the Desert Wolf, somehow lost her power. And she's good with a gun, but she wants her power back. Somehow Malia took the power away from her in birth. So that's why the Desert Wolf wants to kill Malia. So Braden helps Malia in regards to locating her mother, getting her mother, defeating her mother with those glowing talons that we just talked about. Very cool. While that's all happening, they're all still, the pack is still trying to figure out who the hell is the Beast. The Beast is another genetic chimera, genetic chimera that we didn't know about before. And we're just finding this clue and that clue, and Brett's back with his sister and playing lacrosse, and that was fun. But while this is going on, Kira is dealing with her Firefox Kitsune powers are just being amplified and taking over, and she's becoming a homicidal maniac with a samurai sword, screaming Japanese at people. Her mom takes her to the desert to meet the Skinwalkers, Native American Skinwalkers. That mythology is neat, being brought into this as well. I love the mythology in this. The different layers of mythology interacting with each other. It's just so beautifully done. So beautifully done. The deal is they'll help her. If she can pass their test, she's good to go. But if she can't pass their test, then she has to stay with them, that she's now a Skinwalker. She passes the test, kind of, but it was really the Firefox, not so much the Kitsune herself. Not so much Kira herself. She goes off to her friends. She can't control the spirit. She makes a deal with them. Help her defeat Theo. Help her friends defeat the Beast. Help her and her friends help Jordan defeat the Beast. And that she will willingly go with them to the desert. So at the end of everything, Jordan Parrish's Hellhound is facing off Labette. After we learn about Labette, Labette is the Beast of Gévaudan. We know about the Beast of Gévaudan because that's mentioned in Season 1 from Kate and Allison Argent, going into the family history of why the pendant is the wolf and the Argent family, meaning silver in French, and all that different stuff, right? They're the first hunters, whatever. So we're in 1700 France. I think it's episode 18, and we know who the Beast is. He's this homicidal maniac named Sebastian, and he's friends with this guy Marcel, and Marcel, his last name is Argent. So Marie-Jean's brother is Sebastian, and she is a huntress, and she's the greatest huntress in all the village, in all of Gévaudan. So she's on a quest now with Marcel to find who the Beast is, defeat the Beast. Sebastian turned into a werewolf inadvertently by drinking out of a werewolf's foot puddle, something like that. Puddle in a footprint. That's one of the other myths that you could turn into a werewolf. So it's finding him, her crafting the Argent Steel pike, killing him, he goes away. The Dread Doctors are trying to bring back the Beast, right? They're trying to bring back the Beast so he can just wipe out Beacon Hill's clean slate, a culling of sorts. Jordan's Parrish's character of the Hellhound is cleaning up the mess, but also trying to prevent it at the same time, making sure nothing else happens. Lydia, her voice is being amplified. She's learning how to control her Banshee stuff from Meredith, who is back in Icon House. It's so cool, the different layers, the different seasons, the different references, all of it coming together again to figure out what's going on. Again, the big questions: where's Miss Morell? If we're in Icon House, she's not there. Why is Peter not in this season at all? What's he been up to? Where's Danny after he graduated? Aiden is in this for half a second, but just as like a fake memory of trying to convince Lydia to stay in Icon. And she's going, "You're not real, you're dead." And, you know, it's a little thing like that. So it was neat seeing Aiden for half a second. We missed the twins. We do. Season 3 of the twins was pretty awesome. So, what next? Man, so many things happen. The gang's back together. The pack's together, right? Kira got the help of the Skinwalkers. Jordan's facing off the Hellhound. They figure out the Hellhound. They figure out the Beast. The new Beast is Mason, who is dating Corey, the Chimera, at this point. And Mason absorbed a twin in the womb, so he's technically a generic Chimera because he has 2 different sets of DNA that nobody else noticed at first. It wasn't a skin graft, wasn't a kidney transplant like Hayden. Hayden and Liam going off on their whirlwind romantic adventure, pretty neat. Having Mason and Corey go off on their whirlwind romantic adventure, pretty cool. But still, Theo's just out for power. He has the help of Deucalion at some point, trying to convince Deucalion to... They're siphoning blood out of him to, like, you know, help regenerate that German guy in the tube. But in trade-off, they're allowing Deucalion to take the eyes from Scott or something like that. So Theo thinks Deucalion's on his side, but is not. Twisted reveal is that Scott and Deucalion were working together, and then Chris Argent helps his father Gerard, gives him that, you know, yellow wolfsbane that, like, cures the poison that's in him, cures the wolfsbane that's in him. But then Gerard shoots Deucalion. You know, Deucalion's not dead, and it's funny because Deucalion's like, "This is not my day." But it's neat having Chris face off Gerard. It's neat having Deucalion now an ally versus an antagonist. He's now an ally within Scott's pack, helping after the resolution of Season 3. Very cool. Separating Sebastian from the Beast, separating Mason from Sebastian from the Beast. That was a neat little 3 thing going on in the tunnels. Having Jordan hold the Beast, Scott takes the Dread Doctor's cane, which was reforged from Marijon's Argent's silver spike, destroys Sebastian, destroys the Beast, all as well. The Dread Doctors have been killed by the Beast once the Beast has, you know, come into full fruition without having to transform on a moon. Mason can just do it by himself at this point, not knowing that he's actually Mason. Demento Memore, remember who you are. So that was really neat, having the Latin thrown into it, explaining why, you know, certain individuals were just erased from history for certain reasons. But how was he actually defeated? He grabbed onto Scott. Scott's alpha eyes are glowing. He's choking Scott. His nails inadvertently go in the back of Scott's neck, which we know is a werewolf thing, right? You can check memories after Theo destroyed Lydia's mind for half a second because of that. So he sees Scott's memories of Allison, and Allison, Crystal Reed, the actress, played Marijon in the show. So for him to see memories of his sister, who's not actually his sister, but a long-lost descendant, he's like, Marijon? And it breaks the concentration, and then that's what gives them the all advantage of, you know, going back. We learned that Theo killed his sister when he was 9 in order to get her heart, because his heart was bad, so the Dread Doctors convinced him to get his sister's heart, so that way he becomes a genetic chimera, so that way he can, you know, start the experimentation for them while they're in Beacon Hills. The Skinwalkers are in cahoots with his dead sister, so she comes back from under the tunnels and drags him down, and Theo yelping, "Scott, help!" It was so cool. It got me chills. I got some chills. So Theo's an interesting character because you want to hate him, but you want to love him because he wants this stuff to stop as well, but he wants the power along with the stuff to stop. Scott just wants the stuff to stop. He doesn't care about the power. He just wants his pack okay, and everyone's all right, and everyone's good to go. But what happens in the meantime? So the resolution of Scott and Styles coming to bat after, they couldn't talk because Theo convinced Scott that Donovan was killed by Styles, but then it was a whole thing with Styles and Sheriff Stilinski going into, it was self-defense, it was an actual murder, things like that. Just because you wish someone dead doesn't mean it's actual death sentence. Doesn't mean it's actually murder if you wish someone to be dead. That's not a thing. Kira going into the desert with the Skinwalkers, now that the deal's been completed, we don't see Kira again. And I love Kira's character. I really wish we got resolution in season 6 in regards to how her progress has gone with the Skinwalkers. So we're going to watch season 6, part 1 and part 2. Go into that. Riders of the Storm, Storm Riders, Ghost Riders, whatever they are, they're referenced in the beginning of season 5. So it's neat having that reference come into fruition, just like how in season 1 we get the Beast of Javaldin referenced in a story, and then here we are at the end of season 5. It all just comes back. It's just so interwoven, and the pieces are placed and all these things. So the 3 questions after watching all of these many a season so far: what happened to Danny after he graduated, quote unquote? What happened to Miss Moreau? Is Tyler Hoechlin's character of Derek still in Mexico, even though Braden is back helping Malia defeat her mom? Because Braden and Derek were technically left in Mexico to go find the Desert Wolf. But since the Desert Wolf is in Beacon Hills, where's Derek been? Is Chris okay with leaving the Calavera family? Like, are they still hunting his sister Kate, the Jaguar, the Nogwal? Is Isaac still in France? What's he's up to? We do know in season 6 that Ethan and Jackson are living well in London, but like, we don't know that right now. So what happens with those 2 characters? Little tiny things, but like a lot of the plot points are interwoven, and it's supposed to be like that. Mythology checks out. It's very neat. It's very smart. It's very quick. You're never bored watching this show, and I love this season specifically because of the bad guy turned good guy. Deucalion joining Scott's team for that half a second, it's just so, it's character development, and I'm a sucker for character development, and I love the alphaness that Scott brings back to the pack to bring the pack back together, that he can now heal because the pack is together. Together. Excellent. Wonderful. That's all I got. Mucho mahalo.